UFOs used to be associated with wackos, a time during which credible news organizations chose not to cover them, a time when Congress didn't need Defense Department reports on them, former spy chiefs and American presidents could not declare their existence at the time. There was a time when the official attitude taken by the United States government was that they did not investigate them. It was because of Luis Elizondo's efforts that things changed. The American investigations were made public. What did it reveal about the UFO or the extraterrestrials? Let's find out. It was a headline from the New York Times in 2017 that brought Luis Elizondo into the public spotlight. The title of the article read, "Glowing Auras and Black Money, the Pentagon's Mysterious UFO Program." It revealed a top-secret program at the Pentagon that had been looking into UFOs all along. Luis Elizondo ran the covert project for a total of 8 years. The project name was the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, or ATIP, started in 2007 by the Pentagon to investigate unexplained aerial phenomena that appeared to be using new propulsive, hovering, and other advanced technologies. The existence of this project may lead some to believe that aliens are here, but it still needs an investigation that needs to be done scientifically. Since 2017, ATIP has released a number of videos showing reported interactions with UFOs. When Elizondo told the administration that these UFOs may have a serious national security danger, but not enough was being done to deal with it or fix the issues, he resigned. People have been puzzled and surprised by UFOs for decades, and they also provide a special challenge to federal authorities who are trying to establish whether or not they constitute a threat to the country. And it was not the only program that was initiated to determine the threat level of UFOs. Before the commencement of ATIP, the United States Air Force had initiated Project Blue Book, which looked into more than 12,000 reports of alleged sightings of unidentified flying objects from 1952 to 1969. Now, Elizondo is pulling back the curtain on his tenure with the ATIP, which he left because of a dull official response from the government to the agency's findings and their unwillingness to address potential risks from UFOs. He made many revelations about his time at ATIP in an interview with the show Unidentified, Inside America's UFO Investigation, which is on History YouTube channel. In the interview, he said that during his time as director of the ATIP, witnesses observed UFOs traveling at hypersonic speeds, which are more than 5 times the speed of sound. Yet there were no sonic booms or other signs that normally accompany airplanes traveling at such high speeds. One of the incidents of UFO interaction happened in November of 2004 when pilots were conducting training missions aboard the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz. David Fravor, who was serving as a squadron leader and commander, received a request to investigate an unusual aircraft while he was in the air as it appeared on the carrier radar. When he arrived at its coordinates, he noticed something extraordinary, an object that was 40 feet in length and resembled a large white tic-tac, but it did not have any visible rotors, propellers, wings, or exhaust plume. Yet, according to Fravor, it was able to jam radar, respond to his moves, and run rings around his FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jet. Its turns were so quick that it seemed as if the UAP had no inertia, and it was able to fly away faster than anything he had ever seen. To put it simply, it broke the known rules of physics. The UAP was not only spotted by the radar of the nearby USS Princeton, an Aegis-class missile cruiser with state-of-the-art sensor systems, but also by another pilot who captured the tic-tac using his plane's targeting camera. To get a better look, Commander Fravor started descending in a circular pattern, but as he came closer, the object started moving upwards towards him. It looked like the object was coming to meet him. Instead of continuing his slow circular descent, Commander Fravor decided to drive directly for the target, but then the object pulled back and disappeared from the radars and Fravor's eyes. After communicating with Princeton's operations officer, the 2 fighter planes were instructed to proceed to a meeting position 60 miles off, referred to as the cap point in aviation terminology. During that, they were en route and closing in when the Princeton radioed again. The strange object was again picked up by the radar, but the object had vanished by the time the 2 fighter planes arrived at the contact point. Surprisingly, the object, or the UFO, was able to fly at such a high speed that they would have experienced gravitational forces, or the G-forces that must have been beyond the endurance of both people and aeroplanes. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, one of the most nimble aircraft in the United States arsenal, reaches its limit at around 16 to 18 Gs, whereas the human body can only withstand about 9 Gs for a very short time before a person begins to black out. So they could not be humans piloting the UFO. Maybe they were extraterrestrial with much more endurance than humans, or it was a remote UFO piloted from somewhere else. Whether it was piloted by aliens or humans, or it was a drone, it doesn't matter. What's important to ask is whether they pose any danger to us or not. Some incidents suggest that it is dangerous. Let me give you some reported examples. One pilot reported getting a sunburn after getting too close to an object, which he described as out of this world. For 4 days, his face was a crimson mess. Well, that is the sign of radiation. That is not a burn from the sun. It is caused by radiation. Another pilot who got a little closer said that he got symptoms symptoms that were similar to microwave damage, and he had internal injuries, even in his brain. One pilot said he time-lapsed when he came in contact with the UFO. He'd only been there for 5 minutes, but when he checked his watch, 30 minutes had passed. However, he had only burned fuel of 5 minutes. What are the odds of that happening? It might have happened because the UFO might have a space-time warp device. Basically, a time warp changes the flow of time by speeding it up or making it run more slowly. The pilot might have experienced time warp. Since that technology isn't made yet, Elizondo has tried many times to get the government to admit that these UFOs might be dangerous, and there has been some progress made as a result of Elizondo's demand for government action. The United States Department of Defense verified the authenticity of the UFOs videos published by The Times on April the 27th, 2020, and then made the videos available in the public domain officially. Furthermore, a report detailing the actions taken by the government to address the UFO problem was delivered to Congress by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The report said that 143 of the 144 interactions that were investigated could not be explained. Although they did not point the finger at aliens, they also did not completely reject that possibility. This could not have been made possible if it was not for Elizondo. In the New York article, he disclosed the activities behind the thick walls of the Pentagon, and then they confirmed the existence of the program, the ATIP. Unfortunately, the program stopped according to the spokesperson of the Pentagon. But according to Elizondo, the only thing that had ceased was government financing, which had run out in 2012. After that, he began working with Navy and CIA officials. He continued to operate out of his Pentagon office until October of 2017, when he resigned in protest of what he felt as excessive secrecy and internal hostility in the UFO program. In his resignation letter, he wrote that there was a need for more serious attention from the Navy and government to investigate unusual aerial systems interfering with military weapon platforms and displaying beyond next-generation capabilities. He believed that there is a crucial need to identify the capacity and intent of these occurrences for the benefit of the military services and the nation. In 2017, he joined Potoff, an American parapsychologist and engineer, and another former officer of the Defense Department, Christopher Mellon, in a new business endeavor called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. They speak publicly about their activities to raise funds for UFO studies, and maybe they'll reveal more American projects like ATIP to the world in the future.